Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes on this Wednesday, the 20th of March. And we're starting off the day on the quiet side around the country. There's not a whole lot going on. Morning frosts across parts of Alabama and western Georgia. We have red flag warnings up for Virginia. And we also have areas here warning of the possibility that there could be some brush fires with some gusty winds in the northeast. Mostly on the quiet side, a couple of exceptions. We have winter storm watches up for the eastern half of Maine, and that includes down near the coast. We also have, because of some lake effect going on, and the next cold front that's moving through, winter storm warnings up for parts of north central New York. And we also have some advisories that are up for northeastern Montana. Probably going to see more of those as we move along. And as we head toward the latter part of the week, we've got a new storm system that we're going to be dealing with. A warm front's to our north, a cold front's to the west. Low pressure is in eastern Canada. A cold high is building down from Canada into the plains and western Great Lakes, and that cold air will be spreading eastward. Today is a mild day for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England with westerly winds. Still, those winds are going to be on the gusty side as they've been for several days now. And then they're going to pick up again as we move into the overnight and on Thursday as the front moves offshore and this next high builds in as low pressure moves eastward across southeastern Canada. And the pressure gradient tightens somewhat. Won't be unreasonable, but it is going to be noticeable. Quiet across the south at the moment. We are seeing the beginnings of moisture moving into the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to be our next storm system. Meanwhile, we've got patchy clouds up in New England, as well as areas to the west. And you kind of can see the upper trough and cold front with clouds that are to our west. The mid and south Atlantic states are clear, much of the plains, and much of the west enjoying some nice weather. So you can see the radar is a little bit on the busy side here after the cold front passes, with more areas of snow showers and some areas where there'll be a period of steady snow. Again, all of that is going to be in upstate New York and up into New England. Uh, Here across our area, as the front passes, we could see a shower or two go by, and then we start to turn our attention to the storm system for the weekend. And this one, I think, is going to be a bit on the strong side. There'll be rains for Friday night and Saturday from Florida on northward into New England, particularly close to the coastal plain, where we're looking at rainfall amounts of 2 inches or more from southeastern New England all the way down into eastern South Carolina. Also, some heavy rains in South Florida over the next several days, several to many inches there, and in parts of the Gulf, Texas Gulf Coast, in the plains. I'm sorry, in the upper Mississippi Valley, and much of this may wind up being snow. We're looking at 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half, especially for the snow areas are going to be northern Iowa on north and west. And in the Pacific Northwest, we're looking at precipitation amounts of up to several inches from California all the way up into Washington state. And as far as snow is concerned, this is the probability for at least two for the next 72 hours. So you see high probabilities in Maine, central and northern New Hampshire, Vermont, central and northern New York, southwestern New York as well. We'll put the probability for at least four, and you notice that those numbers are also, the probabilities are on the high side. Many areas there, 50% or higher. Also, from central and northern Michigan, and then to the upper peninsula, Michigan, back through Wisconsin, and then in this narrow band across Minnesota, northwestward into Montana, we're seeing high probabilities for at least four and low probabilities for at least four being indicated for areas in Washington and Oregon, but it picks up in the Sierra Nevadas. So we're overall today a pretty decent day. Again, watch for a shower or two later this afternoon into this evening as the cold front goes by. You see the snow that's going to be to the north. Then we've got a shot of cold air coming in. Thursday's going to be the coldest day of the week. Many areas for highs tomorrow, only in the low to mid 40s with gusty winds, but everybody in the east of the Mississippi should be fine. Then we start to see rain develop in Texas, and here comes our low moving across the Gulf of Mexico and then across Florida on Friday into Friday night. Rain starts to spread up the coast Friday night. Friday will have sunshine giving way to arriving clouds. And then this low is going to strengthen some as it moves northward up the coast. Some heavy rain, band of heavy rain is likely to develop in eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia, into Maryland and Delaware, and then spreading through New Jersey and into Long Island and southern and central New England. Uh, and the probability of at least a few inches of rain seem likely, more along the coast, less in inland areas. And as long as this weather system keeps moving away, we should see some general improvement for Sunday, especially if it's how the GFS has it with this northerly wind. Just a couple of notes. The threat for coastal flooding is going to increase with an east to southeast wind Friday night into Saturday for south and east facing shorelines. We'll get a break on Sunday, but another low is going to form out in the ocean. Now, as long as that stays offshore, we shouldn't have any problems. But you'll notice early next week, Monday and Tuesday, we've got a fairly strong uh, northeast flow coming in off the Atlantic with a long fetch from that high in New Brunswick. So I think there's will be coastal flooding issues, particularly because we have a full moon on Sunday and we are just past the vernal equinox, so we're going to have abnormally high tides to begin with. So this could create coastal flooding issues Monday and in Tuesday. That coastal low might also start to sweep in some clouds early next week. So we're going to have to watch out for that possibility. But as far as the weekend goes, for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, I think Saturday, for the most part, is a washout. And for Sunday, I think will be the better of the two weekend days. Joe and Joe Weather Show coming up tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be soloing, so be sure to mark it down, and we'll see you tonight.